I'm sad I had to say this, but we need to go into an actual recession, or even better, actually have a reset on the market. Now, I understand there's a lot of cons to a recession, like unemployment is higher, decreased asset valuation, and higher national deficiency. But what is a recession and how does it really affect you? It depends on your job market. Now, let's go into what is a recession. So, a recession is also known as economic downturn. It's a common phenomenon in the world of finance, and despite the prevalence of many people are still unclear what a recession and what caused it. So, a recession is just a period where economic decline characterized as reduction of gross domestic product or GDP for two consecutive quarters. And what is the measurement for recession? But a recession can be a significant impact on individual business economic as a whole. And during the recession, many business may struggle to stay afloat, leading to an increase of unemployment and decrease in consumer spending. So, what is some of the causes for recession? Well, economic factor, a slowdown of economic growth, reduction of consumption spending, and increase in unemployment. Financial factor, bank failure and financial crisis, reduction of credit availability, and stock market crash. And political factors, government policy regulation, international event, and conflict. So, a lot of things can affect us for recession. And the thing about it is, why do I say we need to have a recession? And the big thing is, it lowers the cost of goods, it lowers the housing market, and it removes a bunch of unnecessary people from jobs. And we are seeing that now with a bunch of people getting laid off and food prices going high, housing prices going high. But this is what you need to understand. And I'm not saying recession is good, but I think we do need an actual recession. Why? Well, the cost of good is too high. So if we want the cost of goods to go down, we want housing prices to go down farther, we need a recession like the 2008 when we had a housing crisis. Housing prices dropped and people got laid off. It's a very sad thing to hear, but let me put it like this. There is so many people that's working a job that actually don't do anything at their jobs and just taking a high paycheck because they've been there a long time. Or you have people that are in the boomer age that aren't retiring because they either can't afford it or they just don't have nothing else to do. And they're holding these high level positions and it doesn't free up for the next person. And it's not very fair. This happens in the military all the time where no one can get promoted in the military until the person above them gets fired, let go, or removed from the position to actually have that position open. So here's the first reason why I think we need a recession is we need to get these companies stand out and so they can start making money again. Because then we can actually lower the cost of goods if we're not paying the high cost of labor to manufacture these things or to do the research. So what happened is one of the factors to the cost of goods is how much labor costs. And if they're over leveraged in labor, it increased the cost of your product. So if you want lower cost of goods, the company just have to have less employees, less labor costs. So they have to become, guess what? more efficient with less people. Now, it's not good that a lot of people get laid off during that phase, during that time, but it has to happen for companies to become more efficient, or we will not be able to move forward. And a lot of times they remove the unproductive people that are just collecting paycheck. So a lot of people do not understand this, or they're the people that go to work and says, I do my best, XYZ, but they do the bare minimum at work. And yes, they shouldn't do over and beyond. They don't shouldn't have to. But for a company to be productive and to have more profit, everyone at the company has to work as hard as they can so the company could save money and be productive. Yes, it shouldn't be like that, but at the end of the day, this is business we're talking about. We shouldn't have three people doing a job for one person, and people have to learn to be more efficient at work because I've been doing some audits on some companies and I've been finding out people either work remote, only do the bare minimum that's required for them, and don't help pick up slack where someone else is overworking, or some people are just working 2 to 3 hours in their 8 hour windows and it's not very productive. And this is one of the things people need to understand is you're on company time, you should be as productive as you can. I understand more work isn't better for you, but at the end of the day, it does reflect on how profitable business does. So this is reason number one reason why I think we need a recession. Number two is the cost of goods. For housing market to have a reset, people have to lose their jobs. It's sad. Some people have to lose their houses. I understand it's sad. But what this does is cause a panic sale for these investing companies. Right now, the investing companies are making a ton of money because they're trying to ride out these waves, trying like BlackRock or these other companies, and they're leveraging the gains on these properties to use for financial gains. So if you want to have them lose a lot of money, these houses have to lose value. Now, I'm not saying these houses gonna look worse, but a whole neighborhood shouldn't be bought by BlackRock. But in Florida, there might be one or two. If there is, I'll put it on the video right here and right here of some of the investing companies and how many they have. And that affects the average person because they can't afford a house because guess what? The investing companies, these giant companies, are buying them before they can. And it's just not fair. So houses should not be as value or increase in value that fast to help the average person buy a house. And that's the second reason why I really think we have to go into recession is we really need a reset on this market, on inflation. And number three is the job inflation market on pay. Now, you have to understand that yes, job market has not been keeping up with the price of guess what? Houses, cost of living. So the only way to do that is guess what? Get the qualified people to make more money. And the only way to get that happening is to have the most product people working and they will end up making more money because a lot of times the people who make more money in the company are the more productive people and bringing more money for the company. Now, what happened is eventually some of these top sellers start bottoming out and they just stick around and they just have to get rid of them. And with the efficiency with the government doing right now and the job market being more available, it will lower the cost of labor, which, yes, it kind of sucks for people, but then guess what? It's going to have an effect on the rental market. It's going to have an effect on the housing market because then they can't afford the average house and the investors will start losing money. And when I'm talking about investor, I'm talking about the corporate investors, not the mom and pop investors, because the mom and pop investor they're more due diligent, they understand a certain market, where the corporate investor does a blueprint saying I'll buy it for this percentage. They don't really know the area, and then they lose money or they can't sell the house, so they have to take it at a loss to a actual investor that is a mom and pop investor or a average seller. So yes, I really do think we need a recession to reset the economy. Now, the economy, now we all know the bads of a recession, but let's talk about the good of what happened in a recession. There's a correcting market imbalance. So a recession result in economic imbalance may recite. So what happened is the housing bubble, .com bubble, it corrects the imbalance or market imbalance. And what else does the recession do? It incentivizing saving. Because what happened is, let's be honest, people watch TV and they see people driving Bugatti, they see people doing all these fancy things, but in the day, people need to learn how to save money. And this is when they really learn is during a recession because they're going through some hardship. And next thing is they bringing bargaining to the market. Before, whenever you go into buying a house, guess what? You didn't really get a bargain. It was a bidding war. Now let it reverse so you can actually bargain on these items, bargain on these houses, and make more money. And what is the best thing after recession? It foreshadow lower interest rate. So if you want a lower interest rate, guess what? You have to just go past the recession and you get lower interest rate because we got a lower interest rate due to the 2008 housing crashes and it lowered the interest rate to fix it. And now just houses just inflated too much and we just need a great reset on it. And those are the reason why I think and some of the benefits you can get from recession. Now, do I think a recession is good? No, I do not. But we do need it to happen so we can rebalance the economy. And that's the big thing about it. It's rebalancing it so people can afford to live. We get these companies linked out and just life gets a little bit easier because guess what? We don't have so many people bogging down the system and we get some of these job openings open for the new people to innovate. So like and subscribe to my video and that's all I got.